Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hop into our e-commerce store that we created, and we're going to start doing taking care of some of the settings and configuring our store to personalize it. So I just logged into my store. I did that by going to ecom.mydomain.com. You would go to yourdomain.com and /admin/index.php, and that brings me to the login page. The first thing that we want to do before anything else is let's go up here. We created our account, and when we created our account, it did not fill in our first name and last name. So let's go to your profile and go ahead and replace first name and last name with your information. So for me, it would be Brian Savage. And of course, update your email to, if you need to whatever your email is, if that's not what you wanted. We'll go ahead and save that. And there we go. So we've updated our information. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start working on settings. We're going to go to System, and then we're going to go to Settings. And settings brings us to a screen where with OpenCart we can have multiple stores. We can have 50 stores in here, all running off of this single platform, which is really great. We've talked about examples in class where you might have opportunities to sell to bargain shoppers, and then to premium shoppers as well. And so you could take your product line and split it out to 2 different sites and do a lot of sales and overstock, things like that on your bargain shopping site. And then for your premium shoppers, go ahead and put that completely different site. For now, we're going to go in and we're going to work on the default is my store, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to click edit in the actions. What you'll see in here is a couple tabs, and in the videos that are supplied for the lesson, you'll notice that we talk about, in the first video, we talk about general and store. And in our general, what we're really covering is our meta information. Our meta title is not necessarily the title that shows on the front up top by the logo. It is the title that shows in our tab, and also is pulled by Google and other search engines and displayed as the title in search results, as well as other integrations will pull that meta title as well. Remember, meta information is that information that is hidden in the head of the HTML page and is used by the browser. For our meta title, we're going to go ahead and put inside out and then our name. Inside out store dash our name. And then let's go ahead and save that. And after clicking save, it'll actually bring us back out to our system settings screen. That's something I'm a fan of, but it's how OpenCart works. So if we want to go back in, we just have to click edit again, and it will take us back into our settings, and there we are on our general tab. So at this point, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the variables in these pieces of information you see in brackets at a later point. For now, we're going to go ahead and put our meta tag description in. And for our meta tag description, let's just enter some text. This web store is There we go. This web store is used for academic enlightenment. Excellent. That's a good. So, and we'll go ahead and we'll fill out our keywords as well. For this project, we're going to put web store e-commerce inside out project, just so we can identify and see them out there in our store when we actually go to check things out. As far as our theme goes and our layout, we'll take care of them at a later point. We'll go ahead and click save. Alright, so let's go ahead back in, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy my meta title, and I'm going to go over to Store tab. We'll start in on the Store tab as we watched in the video. This is where we actually can change our store name. If we look right now and I go to my store, we can see it's titled My Store. We can see the change for the meta title was put up there, but we are still with My Store. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there. I'm going to take my store owner and I'm going to put that there instead. And now we'll just have inside out store, store owner, your name, and then for the address, let's go ahead and let's use 10 South 2nd Street, and that's and I think it's spelled out actually. Let's 2nd Street, and that's Reading, PA 39603. Go ahead and use rack address, your name, and inside out for the store name. Make sure your address is what you would like it to be, and then our phone number we'll just leave at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And let's save that. Let's go have a look real quick, see what that did out here. And we can see it updated our information to inside out. Our phone number is still 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And let's go down here and check out our contact page, and we can see our inside out store. Here's our address, here's our phone number. All right, so let's go back in and wrap up a couple things under our store that we wanted to get in there. First thing, we'll leave the image till we're not too focused on the graphics at the moment, so we'll just take the default image. If you wanted to, you could put a fax number in there. We'll just say 987. Doesn't matter, just put one in there to represent it. And our opening time, so we are Monday through Friday, let's say 10 to 4. Whew, those would be some great hours, wouldn't they? And let's put in additional times can be made available through appointments. We'll go ahead and we'll take that, and let's save that and see what that did for us. So we'll click save, go out, take a peek at our contact page, and we can see that our information has been updated and is available right there on our contact page. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up the contact page, the store tab. I'm going to switch back over to my admin area, and we're going to put two more things in there. So we'll go back to edit, into our store, and the first thing we're going to do is let's go out and just grab the geocode. Good opportunity to learn if you don't know how to get the geocode of a place or establishment. What we can do is we can just go out to Google and go to Google Maps, go in here, we'll use Reading Area Community College for the geocode, bring it up on Maps and right click on it and say what's here. What you'll see is the geocode will actually come up down below, and when you click on it, it'll place it right there for you. So we can just select that, copy it, go over, put this inside our geocode, and that's good, that is there. And let's just finish it off with doing our image, updating our image. So we'll click the edit button. We don't have really much to choose from. We have the demo, and the one video we saw them use other things. I think what we'll use for this one, make it appropriate, like a computer class, and just select the Cinema Apple image there, the Apple monitor, and click save. saved our settings. We should be able to go out to our contact page and refresh it. And there we see kind of a small image, and we have our, I'm going to close Google so that we can see it work, and we have our view Google image, Google Map, view on Google Map. If we click it, it takes us right and drops the pin right where we wanted it to be. So that works out great. Next thing we're going to move on to is we'll go back to our stores and we'll go back in and edit, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at local. So local is what allows us to create localization for our site, establishing, helping with payment gateways, payment processes, things like that, and shipping. If we do real-time shipping, live shipping, where we reach out, it uses these settings to pass out the information. So in other words, it will let them know that we are in the United States, in Pennsylvania. This will actually help apply against tax configurations, things like that as well. These settings will help with that. Our language, the only language we have right now is English, administration language. This is great because if you're global and you're leveraging this, you can actually change the administration language per a location per site. Our currency, of course, we want to use US dollars. We want to auto update currency so that it's reflected in dollars in the price in the store. This is primarily for shipping and for other information for people. What we want to do is say the length glass is in inches and the weight is in pounds. Not only is this information for the consumer that might be buying products off of our site, but it's also useful information that we pass along in shipping queries to, let's say, FedEx, to get real-time prices on what it would cost to ship something. So we'll go ahead and we'll click Save on there. All right, so let's go back to our settings, and we'll go into our store, and now we're going to focus on the Options tab. There are a lot of options in here. As you saw in the video, the supplied with the lesson really just identifies the options and gives a little brief explanation to them. We will cover these options as we go through our store and use our store. We'll cover more and more of these options. The ones that should be most relevant to us right now in setting up our store is we want to pay attention to make sure that we want to display prices with the tax. We want to make sure that we are doing our tax based on the shipping address. For store tax, we want to make sure that we're doing it based on the shipping address for the customer. They might live out of country but have it shipped inside the country, and therefore the tax would be applicable to the country, not international. Customers online. So we have some account, right, tracking, things like that for fun. We're going to turn these on, and what this does, as it says, track customers online via the customer reports section. OpenCart comes with some fairly nice reporting right out of the box. Customer activity, let's go ahead and track that one just for fun, and let's log customer searches. Why would we log customer searches? Well, Ecom is a lot about strategy and knowing what people are looking at and what they're looking for. If we keep track of what people are searching for, we can bubble those things up to the landing page, to the home page, and put them right out there, and we're already suggestive selling then. We will learn later how we can break customers up into groups, different groups of customers. This becomes very useful when you have loyalty programs and things of that nature, and you can graduate people to different groups. Our default, obviously, is default because that's all we have, and we'll explore that more later. Force customers to log in to display prices. We're going to leave this at no, not a good idea. People will just leave for the most part. Max login attempts. How many times do we want people to be able to try to log in before they're locked out? 5 is a good number. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to change our account terms from our privacy policy to our terms and conditions. And what this is when they are creating an account, right? We're in the account section. when they're creating an account, it forces them to agree to our terms and conditions, something I think we're all familiar with. Invoice prefix, very important, especially when you have multiple stores. Invoicing, the naming, the way the invoices are named have a lot of information tucked away into them. So we're going to leave it at that at the moment. We will let our customers see the weight in the cart so that it puts more value to if the shipping costs more, helps them understand. And we will allow guest checkout. A lot of people, we have what we call abandoned carts when we don't. They don't want to create an account. They want to purchase it and move on. So we want to allow them to be able to do that. Checkout terms, we're going to leave that at terms and conditions. We might create another page where we would put, checkout terms and conditions, and the other one account terms and conditions. But for now, what a lot of people do is tuck both of them into one page and just use the same page over and over again. Order status. Order statuses are great. Really important because it helps with the workflow process of fulfillment, of filling an order and not letting anybody fall through the cracks. And it also greatly increases the value of reporting. For now, when somebody places an order, we're going to put it in pending, meaning that the order is just sitting there waiting for attention. Processing is the order statuses in which the process is that we'll use, and you can add or remove process statuses. Again, just helps with workflow and keep things clear. Complete order status. This has its own section. When I started doing e-commerce, this was not its own section in any system, and it became very obvious that we needed to section out a way of identifying when an order was completed. And often there could be some confusion because of the fact that we can say that the order is complete. It might have just been a transaction where we were delivering a digital or access or something of that nature that did not require any shipping, and that would be complete. As where we have, in some cases, where we're waiting for the product to ship, an order will be sitting there waiting to be shipped. So we'll leave those settings where they are. Fraud order status, basically what we do there is set the order status when the customer is suspected of trying to alter the order payment details or use a coupon, gift voucher, or reward points that have already been used. In some cases, we actually would set an order status where we would identify it as suspicious or something of that nature. For now, we're going to leave it at canceled. Our API user, we can talk about that more. It's just the API user that an admin should use when inside of the checkout process. Stock. Depending what you're selling, it's a good idea to display available stock and show warnings. And it's almost always a good idea to do stock checkout, allow customers to still check out if products they are ordering are not in stock. And so essentially what would happen is if you don't have this enabled, they will not be able to complete the order, and you can end up with losing a lot of sales. We will talk more about stock as we go along, but for now, let's go ahead and let them check out even if we don't have it in stock. Affiliate groups. We'll talk more about affiliate groups then, but nothing better than having other people sell for you. Return item terms. So we actually would create a terms and conditions. For now, we'll just set that to terms and conditions. And so on that page, we'll have 3 headings: account creation, checkout, and returns. Return status is we set that to awaiting products. Basically, when somebody's returning something, it'll go into that status, and we'll reset it. CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA, at the moment, we don't have CAPTCHA installed, and we'll take care of that then. But CAPTCHA essentially helps us reduce the amount of spamming on our store. We'll go ahead. We'll click Save. And that takes care of our Options tab in our settings. Okay, so for the final part of this lesson, we're covering almost all the tabs. We are going to come back and touch on the maintenance tab. The encryption key we took care of in class. I will cover that in a second. And we can display errors and know where our error log is and log errors as well. These are just useful development things that we will discover as we move forward. The only thing that we want to do inside our server tab is generate an encrypted key. The best way to do that is we can literally just go out, browse the internet, do a Google search, generate encryption key. It really doesn't matter what site you use. Random key gen, we'll go down, we'll look for a nice big fat one. This one only lets us do 256. You could select that and copy it, paste it in there, and then save it, and that'll save your key. I'm going to hang on to mine since I've already started working with it. So basically, as far as the encrypted key goes, it's just random characters that you use, that it uses to encrypt the data and check out in other sensitive areas. You can actually just sit there and type in random uppercase, lowercase numbers, special characters, things like that, and generate your own key as well. So however you want to do that, and then you click save, and it will pull that key in and save that for you. Now we're going to do our final step of this lesson, which is we're going to go ahead. We're not going to do mail in this lesson. Mail can be a little tricky with configuring the server, and we'll make it its own lesson. So what we want to do is go ahead and see, how do we store a logo? How do we change it? For now, we're going to leave it the logo that it is, but I just wanted to point out where it is that we do that. And that talks about that in the lesson videos as well.